Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Today we are going back and we're going to start a new season in Euro Truck Simulator 2. This is a game that came back out way back in 2012. We are currently in July of 2018, so a little over 6 years ago now. But you know what, it's held up fairly well, so we're going to go back to the very beginning, start from scratch, and just progress through the career and see where we end up. So if you'd like to jump in the shotgun seat here and ride along with us, should be an interesting trip. So this current copy I've got of ETS 2, it has all the downloadable content for the most part. So you're looking at all the various heavy haul trailer packs as well as the map upgrades. So we'll have most of Europe to travel through. As far as gameplay mods go, there's a few that I've added in here just for graphical tweaks, some real world companies and such. A little more realism in the driving aspect as well, and I believe traffic has been increased slightly. So currently we are in the wonderful city of Berlin. In the background there you can see. This will be our starting point. Our starting garage is just in front of the truck here. So that will be our home base, and the current truck that we first purchased is the Volvo FH16. Nice thing about this truck here is actually that it tows, or it's a little more powerful than most of the other base trucks. I believe we're in the middle of 540 horsepower, somewhere in that range, with the base model. Where the rest of the trucks, the Mercedes-Benz, the MAN, the Scania, are all usually in the 300s, low 400s. Whereas the Volvo here that you have is upwards in the 540 range. And the funny thing is I just kind of lucked out in the city I ended the first couple missions on. I ended up having a Volvo dealership in that city, so I decided to pick it up when I was there. So we've taken out our loan. We are in the hole currently, 100,000 bucks, or euros I guess, since we're in Europe. We've done our first few missions just to get to that point. But now it's time to start our own business. We're going to go out and start running some shipments. So I guess without any further ado, we will get the show on the road. Alright, so we have made our way over to our first pickup. Looks like we've got a driller here to be picked up. This current shipment's coming from Berlin and heading over to Hanover. So let me take a quick look here and see what is our weight. So this driller is 8 tons. Shouldn't be a problem for our truck. We've got lots of power for this, so should be a relatively uneventful trip. We'll get I don't think we'll get too much money for this one. 6,000 bucks, or euros I guess it is in this game. So let's go get picked up. We're currently at a little after almost 6 o'clock I guess. So there's our road. So we can just back her in here nice and straight. Perfect. Get her coupled and we can hit the road. That's pretty cool looking. I don't know if I've told this one before. It's maybe part of one of the DLCs out there. Alright. Take our brake off and we are good to go. So we're off to Hanover. It's a roughly 200-kilometer drive, I believe. We can get there in daylight. Like I said, we're just before 6 o'clock, so we should be able to get there maybe 9-ish. It doesn't take us much longer than that. Another nice thing about the Volvo is its motor just sounds so good. Listen to that thing. Oh. red lights still, eh? Always getting hit by red lights. Last of the lights, I believe, until we get to Hanover. I said, yeah, that's right, Hanover. So I should mention that for the most part, gameplay is set on simulation. I do, however, have the limiter that you have to abide by in Europe. The 90-kilometer limiter has been disabled. Just not planning on speeding, but I prefer to have it disabled so I can get by some trucks just to make them more interesting at times. As well, the fatigue has been disabled as well, just so we're not having to listen to that throughout the game. If you were to leave that on, then every, I believe it's 10 hours, maybe 12 hours, your driver's forced to rest. And at times that can be a little bit inconvenient when you're trying to run a stream. So anyways, we've disabled that. We'll also try to do most of our driving during the day, just so you can see a little bit more of the scenery. And now we're looking for Hanover. Perfect. See if I can do that without cutting everybody off. That'd be even better. So we're about 200 clicks out. Traffic mod that's installed on this, they usually say it doubles the traffic roughly, but I'm not quite sure. Sometimes it seems like there's not as much. It seems to go a little bit more with actual rush hour times, so when you're trying to leave a city around 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the morning, a lot of times you might get stuck trying to get across traffic or get into traffic. Out on the highways, sometimes, like right now, it seems like there's nothing out here at all. It's kind of strange. Incoming lane, however, is fairly busy, I guess, but nothing too crazy. What would you expect? It's all trucks, of course. Looks like we got lots of fuel still. We won't have to stop for a fuel stop on this trip. That will not be an issue. Be able to get away with about 85 kilometers an hour in here, I believe. This is probably about a 90s or an 80 zone for trucks. So as long as I stay below 85, it shouldn't cause me any issues. Mind the Volvo interior. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely not my least favorite. Looks pretty good by comparison to some of the other ones. I know the, I believe it's the Iveco, just Every time I drive it, I can't quite stand the look of it inside of it, so I always end up getting rid of it. But the Mercedes and the Scania are probably my favorites, and this has got to be closely in behind there. I think it's the Volvo that has one of the upgraded premium exclusive, I guess, interiors. I don't know if they still have it or not. When it originally came out, it was more of like a pinky rose color, and I don't know quite who would be driving the truck with that. It doesn't really suit it, but I believe we need to get over out of this lane. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh yeah, of course you're going to do that. Yep, you drove right into the back of me. I guess I came a little bit too early there. I could have held off a little bit longer, but I wanted to get into this lane, and he was just moving. It's one thing in Europe I don't understand. They have all these different speed limits for different vehicles, and it does seem, to me at least, that would cause some issues potentially when you have someone that's doing 110, 120 in these fast lanes, and these trucks that are only allowed to do 80. That's quite a discrepancy in speed. That being said, I haven't driven over there in the last 15 years, so maybe it's not so bad. But from what I'm used to, I think that would be a recipe for disaster. Yeah, I'm just going to stay in this middle lane. You people can just go around me. So that's already a $400 hit to my bank account on a trip where I'm only going to make $6 grand, minus fuel, of course. Got to be getting somewhat close. We have 155 clicks on this new truck. I believe the trip was just over 200, so we're probably within about 60 kilometers right now. So we're making decent time. The sun's just starting to set behind the hills here. Big shafts of light, looks nice. Yeah, for a game that's 6+ years old, it still does look pretty good. You know, the nice thing about this game is they're still releasing content for it fairly regularly. Constantly making improvements. If you're watching this and haven't picked this up yet, you can be had for next to nothing, especially when there's a Steam sale on or something along those lines. So definitely pick it up. You got nothing to lose here. And the mod support as well, of course. If you don't want to buy all the DLC, there's tons of free mods in the workshop that can be had, so definitely worthwhile. Take a quick look here and see how far we got to go. Oh, good thing. So I need to get over in this lane. The bus still there? Nope, the bus is letting us in. Oh, looks like we got some nasty weather moving in here too. That Jake slows down this hill. You stay put. Stay there. Thank you. Okay, so this looks like we're going up to a pit or a mine of some sort. I'm sure this truck in front of us is just going to keep on going straight, and we'll pull into the pit. Probably drive down halfway to the bottom, maybe all the way. And we'll drop off our first shipment off. Get our first payday with our own truck. When you hit these gravel roads, you could lock that rear differential, give you a little bit more traction. To be perfectly honest, I cannot remember what key I mapped that to, so I'm just going to leave it alone. It's not really required, I find, for most of the stuff in this game. So, especially with this, it's only 8 tons. This isn't that heavy of a load. We're not going to have any issues getting down there. It's going to be more to find the drop-off location. So we enter down into the pit. It should be just over there somewhere, so we'll have to go around this little hill. Get down into that spot. So we're at 9 o'clock right now. That was actually a pretty good estimate, I guess. The sun's just starting to set, starting to get a little bit dark out, and we'll finish this load off. Move on to the next day. Should be, oh no, it doesn't even in here. Is it down there? Must be down one more further. Yeah, must be right down in the bottom. There we go, there's where we need to be. So this is going to be a bit of a blind reverse. Should be able to just pull forward into this parking lot area up here. Should give us enough space, as long as we don't drive into anybody. Perfect. I don't want to hit this car in front of me. I don't think. I don't know if I'm going to be hitting it right, but we'll get her close at least. I don't think there's anything on that side. There we go. We'll straighten her out. I can probably see a little bit more now in my mirror. Watching that far mirror. See if we can get her lined up where we want to be. And there we go, starting to come into view. A little bit more. Make sure those tires are nice and straight and lined up. And once you get it mostly lined up, it's just minimal touches. You don't want to crank her too hard, or you're just going to put yourself out of alignment. Alright. There we go. Alright. Well, that's our first trip. Pretty noisy down in the pit here, so we'll let you go for now. Thanks for coming along, riding shotgun, and keep the shiny side up. Talk to you next time.